na.
Anong type of mga tasking talagang kailangan naka-time block sa'yo?
For me, checking reports ng mga project managers every day. And then, homeschooling, kailangan naka-time block. And then, checking in with
your team.
With the leaders of the agency.
Okay.
Siguro yung mga VAs, as much as possible, I maintain din relationship with them. So, meron kaming weekly huddle na para lang hindi malayo yung loob nila sa akin.
Alright, so welcome back to the Digital Transformation Academy podcast.
Yeah.
So, medyo natagalan bago yung last natin from the last episode, ano? And again, my name is Dennis Hilario, and with me is may tukayo, another Dennis.
Another Dennis naman.
AKA Coach Shoden. So for this episode tukayo, meron tayong very special guest, And parang medyo nostalgic kasi parang almost a little over a year ago when we did our first podcast.
So parang OG pala yung interview natin to kayo, no?
One of the OG guest ng podcast. At who knows, baka later in the future maging co-host natin.
Oo. Pwede. Balita ko nga kasi itong guest natin to kayo, mayroon siyang extensive experience in virtual assistance and marketing.
Yes.
In fact, meron siyang virtual assistance agency, di ba?
Yes.
Tapos, hindi lang yon. She's actually instrumental in helping businesses, specifically travel agency businesses, to streamline their operations.
Yes.
With magsusupply siya ng mga VAs and they do the admin work, tama? And SEO or content and anuman yung kailangan ng travel agency. Di ba? Ang lakas ng guest natin ito.
Siyempre, pinipili talaga natin ang guest natin dito para we can contribute talaga dun sa natin, main audience, which are working professionals, no?
Mm-hmm.
So, siguro wag na natin patagalin, Let's introduce Miss Mary Charlene.
Yay.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for having me here again.
Yes.
It's nice to be back.
Yes. So, Mary is representing an agency named Prima Virtual Assistant. So, she's the founder and CEO of the agency. At the same time, she's also a founder of a local VA or freelance group here in Batangas called Alae Freelancers.
Alae Freelancers.
Grabe, daming ganap.
Daming ganap nito.
Daming ganap ni Mary. Ayun, siguro para lang ma-catch up natin yung mga bago nating audience, no. So a short lang din introduction about you, what you're doing now, and konting backstory din, if you can start whenever you want to start.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So to start with, I was a VA myself then. Year 2019. Katulad lang ng interview natin last year, di ba? Kinuwento ko yung journey ko as a kung paano ako naging VA. Pero quick backstory lang, I was a frustrated mom.
Yeah.
Nag-aalaga ako sa son ko. And back then, ang naisip ko lang is, paano ba ako kikita habang nasa bahay lang?
Yeah.
That was before pandemic. And then, na-discover ko siya, pandemic came, and then eventually, nag-learn ako how to become a VA.
Yeah.
And then, of course, yung demand ng referral ng clients. So, eventually, nag-grow siya, and then I found my way sa industry ng travel agencies. Because I was serving coaches at that time. Iba-ibang klaseng coaches. And then I met
as a freelancer, no?
Yeah, oo. And then I was helping them with content creation, admin, and then I met a travel agency coach. So itong travel agency coach na to, she is more on really building her community of travel agents. And then doon nag-start yung demand din ng clients. And then nabuo si Prima.
So doon nag-start.
And then we focus in helping travel agencies mainly sa admin, and then social media management, website building,
pero not naman limited to di ba?
Hindi naman kasi we're open naman to all business owners kasi we also have real estate, clients. We also have e-commerce. And recently, nag-grow na yung yung local clients namin.
Yes,
Thank you so much, Coach Dennis, for referring us.
Oo nga pala. So
yan yung mga e-commerce clients namin. And right now, I'm focused in growing Prima, and at the same time, year 2024, actually, year 2023 siya nag-start. Pero naging mas active lang kami nitong year 2024 sa Alae Freelancers naman. So, Alae Freelancers is a freelancing community na dedicated. Hindi lang naman basta sa, sa Batanggenyos, but for everyone. Mostly lang kasi mga Batanggenyo talaga.
Doon nag-start kasi sa Batangas.
At saka yung pinaka-vision ko for Alae Freelancers kasi since we are a province, diba, for us to really learn from the gurus and the coaches, mostly nasa Manila sila or other areas. So, ang pinaka-vision namin is to make the resources more accessible sa mga Batanggenyos.
Sa local.
Yung halimbawa yung mga coaches sa Manila, we can bring them here para dito mag-conduct ng mga workshops and all. So yun yung doon nag-start siya.
Yun ang vision. Alam mo, Tokayo, bukod dun sa mga binanggit niya, meron pa siyang di ba may mga side ka din.
Mga business pa yan siya, di ba?
Hindi ako matali sa isang lugar.
Malikot din mag-isip si Mary, no? So I understand meron ka pang mga, side businesses.
Side businesses. Yan, yung charcuterie cart or Grace cart. So, nanggaling lang din yan sa hobby And then, it biglang nagkaroon ng demand sa paggagawa ng Grace boxes. And then, since naging busy tayo sa community and sa agency, nag-evolve siya into Grace cart.
Grace cart. And then, parang tong mga charcuterie board, diba? Para siyang mga appetizers.
Charcuterie on wheels.
Yun, on wheels. So, parang nagsiserve as appetizers pagka may mga events, no?
Yes, correct. And then, since ayun nga, alam niyo naman, in freelancing and agency, sa pag-agency, so, kahit papano, meron naman tayong kaunting naitabi. Diba? We want to reinvest it to
wealth building
have
naman
more income sources. So, ayun, right now we are first Airbnb unit namin.
Yes.
Ito lang din sa Lipa. Patapos na siya and
nice.
Open na namin siya siguro by the end of March.
Yun.
Wow, congrats.
Grabe, nakakalito na yung mga ginagawa ni Mary, no?
Ang galing nga kasi pero parang may common theme naman talaga kasi parang yun din yung gusto natin i-discover ngayon, like gusto namin malaman like paano siya nagtuloy-tuloy sa journey niya, anong mga challenges yung na-overcome niya. I'm sure marami. And gusto natin yun matutunan how she overcame them. Tapos ano rin yung mga iba pang insights ni Mary when it comes to being productive, kasi that's what she mentioned, iba't ibang business, ibang klaseng productivity yan
yung ibang team niyan
diba? Iba-iba yung nag-handle, so that's a different parang skill set altogether than freelancing.
So, actually, hindi naman siya nag-start talaga na sabay-sabay lahat
hindi
diba?
Ang pero sorry, ngayon ba nag-freelancing ka pa o not at all na?
Not at all na.
Not at all na, okay. So yun nga, yung question ni Tokayo, how do you juggle those things? Ano yung mga challenges mo in juggling those things?
Like, how do you define yung parang, ngayon, hindi mo na masabi na freelancer ka, pero business owner ka na, pero how do you juggle yung iba't ibang efforts mo, even si Alae Freelancers din, di ba?
Pinaka main source ko kung paano ko siya na-juggle is because gusto ko yung ginagawa ko. Kasi ang hirap naman i-manage yung something na napipilitan ka lang or out of responsibility lang. Talagang magmumulayan kung gusto mo or happy ka sa ginagawa mo.
Right. Oo.
So, dun nagsisimula yung parang kahit anong challenges or roadblocks ang dumating, magagawan mo ng paraan. It's because gusto mo siya gawin. So, dun umiikot din kung paano siguro yung mga nabuo ko kasing businesses like may nakalimutan ako, isa pang business. Mapagalitan ako ng mother ko.
Sige, go.
Si Castellito Grill House, Ihawan siya.
Okay.
Pero right now, yung mother ko yung nag-manage nun.
Okay.
So, nag-start siya sa,
nga yung grill house eh.
sa San Pascual
Okay.
and Bolboc, Batangas.
So, it's a restaurant?
Kind of.
Okay.
Nag-start siya sa lang eh. Yung ihawan sa
Street.
tabing kalye.
Yeah.
Yan, yung mga isa, barbecue,
okay.
mga ganyan.
Sige nga, mga punta nga. Isaw eh.
Oo, if
sarap
makakadaan kayo sa highway ng Santa Rita,
Ingat lang sa Uric.
Yun lang, baka mag-trigger na naman yung ano.
Yurik.
So, ayun, yung mga hobbies na yun na naging business, nag-start yun as diversion lang nung simula. Kasi, di ba nga, in freelancing or managing agency, stressful siya at times. So, naghanap din ako ng diversion kahit papano. Para lang ma-balance out na hindi all the time, yun yung iniisip ko.
Yeah.
Ayun.
Pero if we're gonna dive deeper, no, so ang dami mong ginagawa, how do you categorize these things in a day? In a day, what's your day like, no? Siyempre, ako kasi, in my case, madami akong ganyan din. I will make sure na walang nadadrop na bola. Laging may progress bawat isa.
Meron ka bang parang 2 a.m.?
Ay, meron. Lalo, naalala mo, minessage kita mga 2 a.m. na yata. Sabi ko, Coach Dennis, baka mawala pa sa isip ko eh. Sabihin ko na sa'yo ngayon.
Medyo pares pala tayo, Mary.
Oo. So, since sa agency naman, ang ating clients ay foreigners. So, gising ako ng madaling araw. Like, mas okay sa akin gumising ng mas maaga compared na magpupuyat ako. Before, unlike nung nag-VA pa lang ako kasi 'di ba kailangan gising tayo ng oras ng business hours ng clients. So, nung naka-transition ako to managing the agency, mas okay sa akin yung gigising ako ng like 4 a.m., 3 a.m. onwards.
4 a.m.
Kasi yung time zone ng client, yung ganong oras yung mas okay sa kanila.
So, anong unang nasa isip mo pagising?
Email agad.
Email. Okay.
O, diba, I'd be lying pag sinabi kong mag-house chores agad ako or what. Pero talagang as a business owner, lagi mo i-check cellphone, email.
May pera kasi dun sa email.
Pero is that something na talagang dinefine mo na paggising mo email talaga yung titingnan?
Hindi parang out of habit na lang din kasi na.
Okay. So that works for you?
That works for me. Of course, hindi naman siya mag-work sa lahat. Pero for me kaya pagising is check email. Just to see lang if merong urgent for the day.
Yung
if
kumbaga, kung may chaos ba nangyayari dito ngayon?
May firefighting ba na
kailangan replyan agad.
Right.
So, kumbaga, nagta-time blocking din ako eh. So, i-check ko lang anong priority dito. Anong priority for the day, what's urgent and what's not urgent, ano yung mga kailangang schedule. So,
meaning, paggising mo, dun mo pinaplan yung gagawin mo for the day based on sa mga emails na na-receive mo?
Yes.
Like okay.
Kasi ma-checklist din akong tao, Coach Dennis. Kasi since,
kaibigan nga kayo.
Ewan ko, makakalimutin kasi ako. So, pag may checklist ako, nililist ako na yung mga kailangan kong gawin. Pag nagagawa ko na siya, i-tick off ko na lang.
Ano ginagamit mong tool? Ano yun? Sulat kamay or may app kang ginagamit?
Mostly sa notepad ako pag mabilisan. Sa phone lang.
Yung phone?
Sa phone.
Okay.
Yung may checkbox lang.
Yeah, oo. Kasi yun yung pinaka-accessible. Since nag-homeschool din nga pala ako.
Ayun,
So, nag-homeschool din ako sa anak ko.
Dahil palang powers
kaya, yung pinaka-accessible, yung notepad sa phone. So, ayan.
So, yung going back, email, siyempre, halo-halo yan. Meron sa agency, meron sa direct sa client, meron sa homeschooling. So, kinakategorize mo din siya per type of business na.
But of course, meron din tayong non-negotiables on a daily basis. Ano ba yung hindi pwedeng magulo? Kailangan naka-plot siya on a daily basis.
Yun yung naka-block, naka-time block siya.
Oo, kasi yung family ko kasi, kaming ng husband ko, we're very spontaneous. Pero syempre, as much as possible, spontaneous tayo. Pero syempre, may mga responsibilities din tayo na kailangan. May consistency din. Na
anong type of mga task yung talagang kailangan naka-time block sa'yo?
For me, checking reports ng mga project managers every day. And then, homeschooling, kailangan naka-time block. And then, checking in with our
with your team.
with the leaders of the agency.
Okay.
Siguro yung mga VAs, as much as possible, I maintain din relationship with them. So meron kaming weekly huddle na para lang hindi malayo yung loob nila sa akin. Na parang hindi ko naman nakakausap si Miss Mary, yung project manager lang. So nag-start din naman kasi ako sa ganyan eh. Nag-work din ako before under an agency. So nakita ko rin yung ano ba yung what kind of agency ang gusto kong patakbuhin kapag ako na yung owner.
Right.
So, kaya mini-maintain ko talaga na nakakausap ko sila isa-isa din on a regular basis. If not every day, at least once a week.
Ayun. Tokayo, parami na naman yung tanong ko. It's your turn.
Hindi, nag-enjoy din ako kaya hindi ko rin napansin Para sa akin kasi, yun nga nakakita kasi kami ng pattern nito kayo dahil this is our 5th episode na rin. So, parang ganoon, may lumalabas talaga na it's becoming a pattern na may calendar yung mga tao na nagta-time block lahat ng na-interview natin. Tapos, meron din degree of spontaneity yung may mga flex yung mga schedule nila. Although, iba-iba yung implementation, meron tayong ibang guest who prioritize talaga yung wala silang internet muna. Or meron naman isa, nagni-Netflix naman. Diba?
Bago magsimula, Netflix muna.
May sila, may mga ganung dynamic.
Oo nga.
So, yung gusto kong ikut-kutin, kumbaga, diba, yung sa'yo, in your unique style that works for you, is, paano mo, like how would you personally describe yung workflow management system mo? Like what techniques or tools, na-mention mo kanina may notepad ka, di ba? May checklist, pero meron ka pa bang ibang tools that you use to stay organized and efficient?
Hindi ako sobrang efficient all the time, I must say. Ang pinaka-simple as much as possible is yun dapat ang for me. Kasi kapag naging complicated na sumasakit na yung ulo ko. So, di ba, ang ironic, VA agency and then wala akong mga tools. Pero ang tools na pinaka-ginagamit ko talaga, Google Sheets. Like create trackers. And then, kasi we implement project management, we use project management tools for our clients.
Okay.
So sobrang dami niya na iba-iba kasi tailored fit yun sa
client,
sa preference ng client. So pero ako, pinaka-preferred ko talaga is to track the tasks sa spreadsheet. Pinaka-simple.
So bahala na sila project manager magkanda na doon sa
para siyang meron kaming pinaka-master file. Kanya-kanyang tab sila doon.
Okay.
Like for, let's say, for attendance, and then for, para pag nag-check ako ng email, I will only look at isang file lang, and then nandun na lahat.
Okay.
So, nga kasi, na-imagine ko, di ba, like, marami silang iba't ibang clients with different preferences, different tools. Paano mo nababalance yung ganun klase na multiple clients na actively sabay-sabay nagde-demand, sabay-sabay may mga konting firefighting na mangyayari.
Parang kasama ako sa isa dun
without compromising the quality of the work.
Important talaga yung delegation and hiring the right people, of course. Lahat naman tayo dumadaan dyan sa yung di marirealize mo na lang later on na hindi pala siya yung right person for the job. Pero it's not entirely your fault kasi nung time na nag-interview, assessment, pasok naman lahat sa qualities and all. Kumbaga nagbabago din kasi yung commitment or gilas nung VA sa work. Or halimbawa may personal na pinagdadaanan.
Right.
Or nagbago sila ng decision when it comes to ano bang gusto nilang tahakin.
Or magaling lang talaga sumagot sa interview.
Pero magaling na yung mga candidates ngayon.
Galing na sumusin may ChatGPT na
So habang nagtatanong, gumaganon ka na.
So, at saka trust system din. Trust sa mga tao. Kasi,
how do you delegate now? I mean, what's your
right now, before I was really struggling with delegation. Yan yung pinaka number one na naging struggle ko when I was transitioning from
freelance
solo to agency.
Yeah.
As in, parang almost half a year na pinagsasabay ko yung personal clients. And then I'm trying to grow the agency. Yun yung phase talaga na as in pukpukan na
Anong struggle mo exactly doon sa part na yun?
Time, of course. Kasi ako mismo yung gumagawa sa personal clients ko eh.
Yung deliverables mo doon?
Oo, deliverables ko. And then at the same time, yung pag-grow ng agency, wala pa akong structure, wala pang systems, wala pang SOPs. So,
did you discover all your structure and systems SOPs like on your own through trial and error, or meron kang nakitang like mentor that help you?
Mix. Trial and error. And then nung na-realize ko na, ba't ba ako nang papakahirap? So, kailangan ko maghanap ng mentor na pwedeng mag-check ng mga ginagawa ko, and then if may questions ako along the way. Hindi kasi ako yung tao na I need to prepare ng ilang buwan bago ko siya i-start. Ako rekta na agad, diretso na.
Banat na. Oh.
So, doon na nabubuo yung mga SOPs and system along the way.
So, learning by doing talaga.
Yes.
Ang galing nga ng progress niya kasi kung 2019 ka nag-start mag-VA and then a few years later, ka na agency owner plus business owner with other businesses. Mabilis yun in terms of
yung
of
progress.
Development. Kasi maraming mga freelancers or yung mga nagsa-start mag-try ng freelancing at gusto man later mag-agency. Sobrang nasa-stuck sila dun sa pagpili ng market, pag ng service.
Na-stuck din ako niya nung una, talaga.
Ang galing lang kasi ito rin yun like sa amin kasi tinuturo talaga namin na find a market na mayroong talagang demand, may need talaga na talagang willing sila magbayad ng maayos para ma-serve lang yung needs nila. So I'm being a bit circular dito, pero gusto ko kasing ma-discuss to kasi this affects also a lot of professionals sa audience natin. Kaso, yun nga, a lot of the people who encounter that lesson, meron silang resistance kasi they're always waiting for, I need to have enough training, I need to have this kind of skill before I can even talk to a particular client. Parang they're avoiding the sting, I guess, of...
Parang analysis paralysis din.
Parang ganun. So, sobrang astig kasi when I saw how you progressed na through kita ka ng parang may pivot point ka kagad dun sa travel agency na client na boom, tapos nakita mo may patutunguhan to. Dire-diretso na kagad.
Diretso na agad.
Yung iba,
pero hindi siya perfect na as in smooth. I've made a lot of mistakes along the way. Given naman yun, pero kumbaga na-identify mo siya and then you saw the value of that particular niche. Kasi VA services kasi diba to kayo. You can work with any industry kasi yan eh.
Yeah.
And in many cases, may mga industry talaga na for the same kind of work, lugi ka dun. Kumbaga, sobrang saturated or ang liit ng binibigay. So, marami pa rin na nagpupumilit na dun nila ilalagay yung skill nila. Dun sila magsaserve. Pero yun yung gusto kong I guess siguro i-take advantage of habang nakaipit si Mary dito.
Hindi ka makakadaan dito palabas.
Hihirapan ka labas. Parang ano yung mga advice mo for professionals who are watching? Ilan 15,000, di ba? who are watching, or freelancers then who are thinking of becoming an agency. How do you parang decide fast dun sa tapos how do you evaluate yung sabi mo yung mga mistakes kung worth it pa rin ba pursue yung isang market or isang service? Di ba? Parang na-hot seat tuloy si Mary.
Hindi tuloy ko alam ko ano yung sasagot ko. Nakaka-pressure.
Hindi, kasi like kami kasi diba tuturo kami ng mga freelancers. Yung group namin 244,000. Tapos yung isa naming mastermind 8,000. So marami na ako nakakausap, pero yun talaga yung keeping them stuck eh. Nandito tayo, meron tayong expert, diba? Na hindi na stuck. Diba? Yes, go.
Banat ang banat. Yun.
Gusto ko yung
banat
ganun.
agad. Kahit alam mong magkakamali ka, go lang.
Okay.
Pero yun nga, what's your mindset nga doon? Ano? Kasi urge, nagsisimula yun sa urge diba? Kasi mukhang okay to, mukhang passionate ako dito, then you have the urge. If I get it right, pag meron kang certain trigger kasi to push for it
Take action agad.
O nga, so pag nakita mo yun, take action ka agad na ginagawa mo without really analyzing everything. Yung iba gumagawa pa ng market research and whatnot.
Oo nga. So parang yun pala yung superpower ni Mary, no? Parang she doesn't see na parang marireject kaya to or kakamali kaya ako. Hindi mo masyadong minamind kung...
Hindi masyado. Kasi...
Nice.
Pero can you say na part of it is like, learning how to listen to your intuition ba?
Yes.
Oo. Minsan kasi intuition yan di ba? Ang intuition kasi is that without numbers, without, looking at the logic behind it. Pero meron ka talagang urge gagawin ko to.
Tsaka the longer I wait for something to happen, ang ending hindi na nagawa.
So mas okay pala talaga, tutuloy pala talaga yung mga lakad pag biglaan.
Oh, yeah. Correct. Tama yan.
Kaya talagang yung pagiging spontaneous ko is na parang ganun din ako sa
Kayo ba yung family na merong go bag sa kotse?
Meron.
Grabe ka na.
May medicine kit pa.
Malaki yung bag ko sa kotse. May camping.
Pero kasi yung yun yung trait kasi na openness to experience, no? Parang I see her like always open to new experiences, new business, new dot in your life, 'di ba? May mga tao kasing mababa yung kanilang parang close-minded ba? Or masyadong what do you call this, parang talagang gusto niya munang i-scrutinize everything before you start on that.
There's nothing wrong with that naman if you're that kind of person. Pero if it works for you na the quicker you make a decision and then you figure it out along the way, then that's good. And so far, yun yung nagwo-work sa akin. And, ayan.
Paano mo yun na, like for example, in my case, no, I think na-share ko rin to before na ako din halos na araw-araw may idea ako na iisip na bago, no?
Kaya sobrang click tayo dami idea.
Tapos gusto ko na agad simulan. Bukas agad, di ba?
Kaya ako tumatambay dito para makawan sa inyo
Oo. So I'm sure marami ka rin mga ideas na nile-let go.
Of course.
Oo. So ano yung criteria mo talaga to say na push
how do you make that decision and fast?
For me, kung aligned siya sa vision ko. And lahat naman nung decision ko when it comes to business, personal, is kung aligned ba siya sa dream.
Okay.
Or yung sinasabi ko sa mga mentees ko na the big picture. Ano ba yung big picture mo? Ano ba yung buhay mo? Yung dream life mo? Na ano yung mga bagay na gagawin mo to get there? So, for me, if sa nakikita ko na align siya dun sa the big picture ko, pinupurso ko siya.
Kung sa business to kayo, kung meron kang mission and vision sa business, if I get it right, meron ka rin personal mission and vision and also your core values. So, kung yung idea is aligned to your personal mission, vision, and core values, then it's a trigger for you to pursue.
Yes.
Oo, yun.
So, para siyang in terms of ranking, yung talagang how high does yung personal mission or vision, how high of a parang how high of a role does it play in maintaining yung mga productivity levels mo? Kasi diba sabi mo kanina when we started, sabi mo ginaganahan kapag ka-align siya sa big picture. In your case, when you have that goal and you naset mo yon yung personal dream life mo, how high is it in the hierarchy? And also, paano mo ina-approach yung pag-set ng goal na yun? Or paano mo ina-approach yung goal setting or dream life setting?
Medyo mahirap yan sa akin kasi since spontaneous ako. Pero, I also do a lot of research din. Of course, in making a decision naman, hindi naman ako yung basta lang, sige, go push. When I make a decision, ibig sabihin niya nakapag-research na ako, nakapagtanong-tanong na ako sa mga mentors.
So, may risk management ka din na ginagawa.
Yes, of course. Kasi, dumaan na rin ako dyan na hindi ko masyadong pinag-aralan yung pinapasok ko. So, kaya, take calculated risks.
Parang ako rin yun eh. Yung pag pumasok ko sa food business na hindi wala ako alam paano magluto.
Grabe, pumasok ka sa food business, hindi mo alam magluto.
Ganon.
Pero so, investor ka pumasok, parang ganyan.
Hindi, yung ito nga, recently dito sa playground, di ba?
Ito.
So,
parang same na rin naman yun. Pag si Leslie ang nag-handle eh.
Oo nga.
Nag-hire ka na lang na magaling magluto.
Yun, oo nga. Yeah, so, that's one, yung sa, ito kasi part of the productivity is parang yun nga, if yung mga new ideas new dots in your life na gusto mong pasukin, di ba? That's one aspect kasi productivity. Kasi nga each time na nagpapasok ka ng bagong idea, that shakes your system. Di ba?
Oo,
kaya dapat aligned siya.
So, dapat aligned siya nga doon sa sa mission and
kaya kahit papaano yung mga businesses na na-generate ko, parang related sila sa isa't isa. So, yung sa food business, yung grill house, actually, inspiration ko doon yung mom ko sa grill house. Hindi naman kasi talaga ako yung mahilig magluto yung mother ko. So, tinulungan ko siya na makapag-establish ng business through yung experience ko sa operations. And then, siya talaga yung mahilig magluto. And then, yung charcuterie cart. And then, yung sa Airbnb naman, it's because most of our clients in the US, aside from having their own travel agency, they have their own Airbnb business. So, I'm trying to apply the same din dito sa akin, sa Philippine setting. Diba? So, related sila sa isa't isa. Parang nanganganak yung sources of income mo kasi related sila sa isa't isa. Connected sila.
So, yung mga nasa Airbnb, di ba, nagbabakasyon sila, di ba?
Yeah.
Nagwa-wine sila. Anong kailangan? Charcuterie.
Correct.
Sakto.
So, align talaga.
Tapos, syempre, yung asawa ng nagbabakasyon gusto ng beer. Grill house.
Yun.
Kita ka na.
Sakto.
Kasi yung sa mga travel agency naman na clients, syempre, sila yung nag-prepare ng itinerary, saan ang accommodation. So, isinasama nila yung Airbnb business nila.
Okay.
Dun sa... ang galing naman, no? Parang... nakakatuwa talaga na parang nakita niya yung parang dire-diretsong supply chain na ando na rin yung iba't ibang mga connected businesses.
Oo nga.
Ngayon, excited na naman ako to kayo. So, baka off tangent na naman ako.
Okay, go.
You mentioned kasi sa mga clients mo na when they have this travel agency business, meron din silang Airbnb business. Ano yung mga types of challenges yung na-encounter nila na dun ka nag-capitalize? Like, paano mo nakita yung mga problem ng market nila? You mentioned, of course, you had that initial client na nag-open ng eyes mo. Pero, how did you, was there an aha moment na, holy shit, may chance to na we can open this up wide open na magkakaroon ako ng malaking income, makapagbuo pa ako ng team?
Yeah. Kasi nga, travel agencies are booming after pandemic. So, ang taas ng demand sa travel industry. So, they cannot keep up sa inquiries, sa pag-market ng business. And they're also multi-business owners.
Right.
And at the same time, yung iba, full-time employee pa.
Okay. Habang may
So, wala talaga silang time to do the admin, to market their business, create contents, create website. Wala silang expertise dun sa areas na yon. So, dun ako nag-capitalize.
Galing. Sa tingin mo, how saturated is that market? Sabi mo nga kasi hindi nila kaya yung demand, di ba? Like, kung meron tayong isang high viewer na dyan, isa dyan, na na-inspire sa'yo, tas nangangarap din siya na, gusto kong maging travel agency VA and eventually agency owner, what would you say to that person? Kaya pa ba siya? Pwede pa ba siyang pumasok? Or kung yung market hanggang 2027 na lang, may mga prediction ka ba, Mary, sa
Well, right now, the travel industry is a $1 trillion business. Masasabi na, although sobrang dami ng VA, ewan ko kung ako ba ang nagsimula nito or what, pero sinimulan ko ng pangalanan yung VAs ko na hindi lang sila general VAs, travel VA sila. So parang nag-create kami ng specialty under the travel industries na travel specialist or travel consultant.
Nice.
So if you are someone who loves to travel or who loves working with people na nagta-travel or travel agencies, you may want to become a travel VA. Kasi although almost same lang siya sa ibang businesses na admin, social media, ganyan, may iba pang component kasi sa travel agencies.
Alam mo, muntik na ako muntik ko nang pinasok yung travel industry. Back in 2016, nag-develop kami ng para siyang Grab for tour providers.
Okay.
Ganon.
Kami din nag-develop kami ng parang kalaban ni Grab.
Okay.
Pero for older cars. Kasi yung Grab, meron akong dalawang units dun hanggang 3 years old lang. Pagka hindi ka pasok dun sa ganun kabago, napabili ako ng dalawang kotse dun para makasali. Pero pagka tumatanda na yung kotse mo, teka lang, bawal na to. Parang may ganun sila na rule. So naisip namin, gawa kaya tayo ng
yun naman ang niche.
Grab. For older cars and yung mga vans. Kasi wala yung vans sa Grab.
Oo nga.
Pati sa Uber.
So, yung sa amin, ang pangalan niya is Globagia. So, it's really designed it's an open platform for tour providers and travelers. Parang ganun. Sumali pa kami sa Web Summit nun sa Portugal.
Wow.
To showcase. Tapos nung nandun na kami sa medyo magla-launch na kami ng alpha version, nag-pandemic. So,
okay.
Wala na. So, yung team, umalis na, ganyan. So, ngayon, nandiyan pa rin. Pero who knows, diba? One of these days, baka mabuhay.
Kuha ka na ng VA.
Oo nga.
Pwede ito kayo. Para makapag-travel tayo.
Ayun, actually, yun yung isa kong why I love working with travel agencies. Client mo na yun They want, parang, magiging client ka na rin nila So, kung mapapansin mo, Coach Dennis, I've been traveling a lot.
Naging travel din to siya. Spontaneous din.
Ano yun, like, yung nakukuha mong perks ba yun sa clients? Lipat na ako ng industry.
Actually, this April nga
Tara, lipat tayo.
This April, I'll be going to Bali to meet my client. And that's all expenses paid.
Wow.
So, isa lang yun sa mga perks na kayang ibigay ng mga travel agency clients.
Galing.
Kaya,
parang nako-convince naman ako dito tayo mga
Yeah.
Ang galing. So, okay. Kasi nga, the reason why I asked, kasi, di ba kanina I was going around the topic na maraming hindi nagpo-focus sa market. Instead, they focus on their skills. Pero, wala naman silang mabanggaan ng skills na yun dahil like for example, let's just hypothetically, merong isang bagong freelancer na he is coming from a seafarer work. So, marine engineering siya. Diba? Medyo mahirap yun i-match sa freelancing agad-agad. It's not obvious at first kung ano yung pwede niyang gawin. Pero, highly technical siya na person. Marunong siya ng mga, syempre, mag-analytics and stuff kasi barko yung ginagawa nila, diba? And yung struggle niya, so parang pinipilit niya kasi yung technical side ng nasa maritime industry. Pero what I want to, parang medyo mahirap lang akong i-articulate, pero what I want to share sa mga nanonood is, even if you're a technically proficient person or professional ka or meron kang ibang ginagawa na sa, kunyari, engineering ka or systems or whatever, pwedeng-pwede ka pala ilipat mo yung powers mo of looking at business, powers mo na diba, work with numbers into, like, for example, something like the travel industry. Diba? How how would you advise a person na ganun na palagi niyang parang pinipilit pa rin yung old niya ng mga ginagawa kahit lumilipat naman na siya into online freelancing?
It's all about adapting sa needs. Sorry. It's all about listening sa needs ng market. So, no matter how good you are sa skills mo, kung hindi naman kailangan ng client, so wala din, di ba? Kaya important na mag-build ka ng relationship sa clients and listen sa needs nila. And then, yun yung aralin mo. Kung paano mo i-fulfill yung needs nila.
So-solve yung pain points nila.
Yes. And to be honest, hindi ko naman talaga pinlano na mapunta ako sa travel agencies. The way I started is, I just started somewhere. So for someone na nahihirapan na, halimbawa may skill set ako pero hindi ko alam kung anong industry ba yung fit sa skills ko, just start somewhere and for sure may kalalagyan yung skills mo. From that start point na madidiscover mo along the way na ay nagwo-work dito or halimbawa hindi nag-work dito pero nakikita ko pwede dito. So along the way madidiscover mo din kung saan magfi-fit yung skills. And of course kung willing ka mag-adapt, lalo na sa panahon ngayon, we are already in the age of AI. AI, automations. So if you're someone who's not updated pa sa skills, mahihirapan ka talagang makahanap ng clients. What you need to do is to adapt sa latest na trends and needs ng market para ayun, matutunan.
Para hindi ka mapalitan ng AI, no? Kasi yung others papalitan ka ng AI.
Yeah. So, how much would you allocate yung current success mo? Like, ilang percent yung talagang hustle na talagang nagpasok ka sa isang industry na may ginawa ka? And ilang percent yung pwede mong may attribute sa I guess, provenance or luck or parang fate or destiny? May gano'n ka ba na, are you that kind of person na nag-ano din?
For me, it's still 99% luck, 1%.
Grabe lang, parang wala mga successful people, no?
Joke lang.
Mataas yung nilalagay nila yung sa luck eh, kahit magaling na, kahit nagtatrabaho naman sila ng grabe.
Pero,
bakit mo nasabi na mas mataas yung value ng luck?
Kasi I pray a lot din. Surrender. Sinisurrender ko lang din talaga yung sarili ko sa kay God. And kung saan niya ako dalhin, I will nurture it and cherish it. And i-improve ko kung ano yung ibigay sa akin na blessing. So, but at the same time, I work so hard din naman. Hindi naman ako nag-start na 2 hours lang ako mag-work. I started working like 24/7 then when I was starting my agency. Yung halos wala ring tulog. Kasi I was still juggling my personal clients and then hindi talaga siya smooth nung nagsimula. Kung parang right now I'm already reaping the efforts na ginawa ko few years back. So baka kasi yung iba isipin nila na kapag nag-jump ka dito ganito agad. So you really need to do the effort pa din. So nagtatrust ako sa gut ko, sa intuition ko, pero I still do the work to make it work. Kasi kailangan ko improve sa sarili ko na tama yung intuition ko eh. Hindi naman ako magbe-base lang basta sa luck na pag nag-jump ako dito, magiging successful agad ako. Magre-rely pa rin yun sa actions ko. So,
what's your like stress level right now?
Right now? In terms of percentage?
General, 1 to 10, 10 is the highest.
Iba-iba, araw-araw ko.
Iba-iba, okay. Siguro, tanong ko na lang is, how do you manage it? How do you manage stress?
Of course, yung pag-detach muna.
Doon sa situation?
Yes.
Okay.
And step back a bit.
How do you do that? How do you detach yourself sa situation?
Nature, ganyan.
Okay.
Pray. And then, recently, medyo nahilig kami mag-camping. Kasi parang kapag nakikita ko yung mga tanawin, fresh air, so nare-relax ako.
More of a nature person.
Tapos walang signal. So,
wala kang
hindi
choice.
ako marireach ng mga, mga mangungulit sa akin, or hindi ako makakapag-check ng email.
Kaya pala nung isang araw, tagal mong sumagot. No? Wala pala signal. Joke lang.
So, kaya, yun, kapag hindi ako sumasagot agad, alam mo na. Nakadetach ako sa,
Pero ang galing lang, no? Kasi parang yung few years na yon, yung hard work talaga na grabe yung grind. Masabi mo talaga na worth it, no?
Worth it.
And then, right now, so sige, so guys, ayan, no? Nakita nyo naman na yung talagang hustle ni Mary for the first few years when she was starting her agency, hindi pala naging smooth at first. And she was still juggling her personal work with her agency growing. Paano ka nag-let go? Paano ka nag-start ng process ng kahit medyo sumasabog-sabog yung mga nangyayari? Wala kang tulog. Paano ka nag-start na mag-trust ng ibang tao? Kasi ganun ganito kayo yung dating ng like yung mga highly technical people na magagaling ng mga profession. And meron silang ganon, meron silang it could be a limiting belief then na I'm the only one capable of doing this good, or this is my unique style. Hindi ko to matuturo sa iba. And then they realize na hindi naman pala sila unique. Diba? May hugot ako dyan kasi
kaya pala.
Ganun. Yung ko rin, meron din kasi kaming school nung video, parang how to shoot videos, documentaries, weddings, corporate events. So, before ako na ganun nga, na meron kaming thousands na rin na mga graduates, yung pakiramdam ko, hindi ko, parang, kaya nila ako binabayarang malaki kasi show din nakalagay dun di ba? May
branding.
Meron tayong ganung ego. So, nung dumadami na yung clients, kinakailangan mo talagang ituro yung alam mo. Tapos ito yung harsh realization ko yung nangyari yun. So, may mga tinrain ako. Tapos, yung gawa pala nila within parang 2 months lang na training, parang 90% na lang nagagawa. Sabi ko, oh my God, parang. So, how did you grow out of that parang mode and parang became the owner na talaga na would allow, diba? Pag owner ka kasi, you can allow yung mga mali nila kasi that makes them grow Ano yung naging approach mo doon sa pagpasok from freelancer to agency owner?
At start kasi sobrang nag-struggle din ako sa delegating. Kasi tama naman yun na no one can do it the way you would do it. Sobrang naging frustrated ako for ilang months. Yung ganong thinking na ako yung pinakamagaling sa room. Pero the moment I realized na, oo nga, no one can do it the way I would do it. So, sinwitch ko yung approach. Alam ko na hindi nila magagawa yun the way I do it. But I have to show them how to do it and ano yung end result.
Tsaka kung magagawa nila yon, may agency na rin sila. Diba?
Yeah, kumbaga yung paggawa mismo ng mga tasks. So, ang naging approach ko doon is teach them the structure and the system how to do it. Ano yung end goal? Because everyone in the team na-realize ko na hindi mo pala sila kayang bigyan ng rule na ganito lang dapat, ganito ang step, ganyan, na kailangan no more, no less, ganito. Kasi they have their own way of executing things. For me, eventually, na-realize ko na, meron tayong procedures, SOPs, and rules sa agency, but I want you to do it your way, how you would achieve the end goal or paano mo i-deliver yon. Ang mahalaga sa akin, ma-deliver mo with the expected output. And ano man yung deliverables na kailangan. So, sobrang na-frustrate ako before na ganito dapat yung steps, ganyan-ganyan. Pero ngayon, na-realize ko na ay magkakaiba tayo ng approach. And may kanya-kanya tayong methods or strategies. ang mahalaga, dapat nag-adhere ka pa rin sa rules and regulations ng agency. So, to answer your question, Shoden, yung pag-transition ko from VA to from freelancing to agency owner, nahirapan ako mainly because of, number one, sa finances. Of course, we can switch anytime naman eh. We can let go of the personal clients and switch to VA agency right away if we have enough savings na you could take that risk na i-let go yung clients. Siyempre, pag nag-let go ka ng personal clients, mababawasan din yung income, di ba? Kasi you're still trying to grow the agency. So, na-stuck ako doon. Pero the moment na talagang chinaga ko siya until I was able to earn enough to afford, yun yung right term, na ma-afford ko nang ma-let go yung mga personal clients ko. Doon ako nag-start. And at the same time, transparency dun sa mga personal clients. So, kaya I maintained a relationship with them. I was very honest and transparent. Yung mga goals ko, visions ko in life, alam nila na I was trying to build my own company. They eventually hired my agency. So, kumbaga, although hindi na ako yung VA nila, pero they still hired my company to work with us, and then I provided a VA for them. So, may ilan na, nag-say goodbye na, ganyan. Pero marami pa rin yung mga nag-stay and then nag-provide na ako ng VA sa kanila. Probably it's because of the relationship and and yung siguro trust, yung loyalty, trust and loyalty nila sa akin, kaya sila nagstay. So yun lang talaga yung number one na nahirapan ako, yung finances ko before, na ang hirap, hindi ko pa afford na i-let go. So kumbaga babawiin natin sa effort, mag-iipon muna tayo enough money para ma-afford na natin na ma-let go yung mga personal clients. And paano ba natin masustain or yung continuity ng business ko with our clients? Switch them over to the agency.
Nice. Ito, question for both of you guys, mga operational na mga experts. So, yun nga, that's also a question kasi when people are trying to scale, di ba? Yung pag-ano ng income, like, meron two sides kasi ng coin, like, when they are starting to hire people, ang nangyayari is, yung iba, like what you did, nag-iipon ka muna ng parang pang-buffer for the, pero, you take on your, parang kinakain mo pa rin yung cost ng mga salary ng mga VAs, di ba? Yung team mo. Meron naman ako nakikitang ibang nag-agency where, ang ginagawa nila, they collab muna, tapos kinukuha niya yung mga pricing ng ibang fellow nila ng mga freelancer. And then, nagma-markup sila. So, meron silang ganun. So, guys, yung question ko sa kanya is, sabi niya kasi kanina na nagsustruggle siya dun sa, from becoming from a freelancer to a VA agency owner. And then, na-mention niya na ipon muna siya para pang shore up ng funds. Kasi financially, she needed to be able to afford letting go of her personal clients to focus on the VA agency. Kumbaga, nag-save siya siguro ng ilang months worth of income para dun lang sa...
Habang nagta-trial and error ako. Hindi,
so,
kumakain pa rin kami.
Oo. So, yung naging question ko after that is, based sa experience yung dalawa, pati na rin ikaw to kayo, would it be a more parang prudent approach to like save X amount, like several months amount of income as a freelancer, like kung alam mong ito yung gastos mo, and then ka ng team, pero like what your strategy was, hindi siya naglabas ng pera, ginawa niyang part-time yung mga teammates niya.
Ikaw na, Mary. Ladies first.
Ulit yung tanong.
Like, would you advise that as a better strategy, or mas okay na talagang collab muna dun sa pero yung collab kasi nagtataas kasi yung pricing niyo both
In other terms, parang would you go for fixed salary employee or outsource outsource mo yung work
practical wise? Outsource muna, like start part-time. Lalo pat if you don't have enough funds but to cover the whole salary, like full-time salary.
Correct.
And important yung transparency. And also, important yung maiparating mo sa i-hire mo, yung vision, why you're doing it.
Right. Tama.
And then para maintindihan din nila na kung bakit ganun yung magiging setup. Kumbaga, win-win for both sides kasi you transparent kayo sa isa't isa na nung time na yon na nag-hire ako ng mga VAs, they start part-time. I specifically told them na I know that you have families. It's okay for you to look for external clients muna. And then eventually you decide kung saan yung path na gusto mo. If you want to stay with Prima and grow with us because that's our goal and papunta tayo doon. Or if you want to just stay the same, na part-time lang. Ganyan. And then eventually, and luckily, the people that I hired, most of them are still with me right now, celebrating first year, second year anniversary with us. They started part-time, and right now, they have the time and the freedom kasi they're working with Prima full-time na managing multiple part-time clients. So, what's unique about Prima is we're working with clients who hire part-timers. Kumbaga, part-timers lang kami.
Right.
Or project basis. Pero most of us part-timers. So, nagkaroon kami ng flexibility sa buong operations. And at the same time, na-foresee namin, magkano bang kailangan mong, I personally ask my VAs kasi, personal, merong professional, meron ding personal level. I ask them, ano bang goal income mo? Kasi, that's my job to help you achieve that goal with Prima. So, we started part-time and then eventually grew. Kumbaga, ang puhunan talaga is effort and transparency and providing ano ba yung vision na gusto mong ma-achieve with them, of course. Lagi ko silang sinasama sa mga plans ko and vision ko kasi wala naman sa Prima kung wala sila to begin with. So,
Galing. Oo. Ako naman, to answer the question, several aspects. No? One is yung, actually similar sa kanya, yung cash flow.
Cash flow talaga yan. No?
Cash flow talaga yan. Kasi you have to weigh yung yung papasok, i-forecast mo yung papasok na income, which is the cash inflow. And then yung magiging fix mo na monthly overhead, which is yung cash outflow. Siguro save ka sa mga 6 months, no? Na partida dun sa operations mo. So that's one. Second naman is, like ko sinasabi, hilig-hilig kasi yan Sabihin, yung operations kasi and managing people is hilig-hilig. No?
Hilig-hilig.
Nung bata-bata pa ako, meron akong passion to manage people. No? And lead them. Pero as you grow old kasi, parang, in my case, no, I'm not speaking for everyone. Nag-subside yung desire ko to manage people. Hence, I opted for, katulad ng VA agency or virtual assistants. No, kasi nga, I don't need to hire them as employee. Somehow, parang project-based siya. No? Yun, kasi nga, nabawasan yung hilig ko. Nandun pa rin naman kasi still
managing.
You have to still, kahit naman outsource siya, you still need to direct them to a certain goal Parang magbibuild ka pa rin ng culture in a way. Sa akin yung like ko sinasabi from Seth Godin, yung parang actually aligned dun siya sa sinasabi mo na ang culture kasi in one phrase is that people like us do things like this. Diba? So, meaning you're all aligned in one goal, in one system, in one framework. And if you're able to do that to your team, then you're parang on the right track in building your culture. Parang ganon. So, again, yung pag-build ng culture, hilig-hilig din yan. Diba? So, to answer your question, kung if that's something that you're passionate about, kasi kung hindi ka passionate dyan, mafo-frustrate ka dun sa pag-manage ng tao diba? And some people are passionate about coaching, passionate about training them, something like that, and yun nga, kung may ganun kang passion, and then you go for it, diba?
Yun. So, ayun guys, alam nyo na.
Mm.
So, kumbaga, hilig-hilig lang talaga.
Yes. Oh.
Kung saan ka hiyang, dun ka magfo-focus kasi parang dun yung strength mo.
Oh, that's the reason why. Trial and error talaga. Hindi mo kasi malalaman talaga unless you try. Diba?
Sabi nga sila, sinasabi nila na, if you fail and do not succeed, try and try and try and try.
Until you succeed.
Until you try.
Yung lolo ko yun parang wala naman talagang sense yung sinabi na pero natawa kami, so sinishare ko lang dito.
Actually, may share ko lang, no. I consider myself as a high performer. It's because before, sobrang frustrated ako na takot ako magkamali. Until napansin ko, wala akong nakukuhang resulta. It's because I was afraid of trying things. Kasi nga, baka magkamali. Pero, nung dumating ako sa point na nagkamali ako, pero may na-generate na something good out of it.
Oh, wait. Okay yan ah.
Doon nagsimula yung confidence ko na okay lang magkamali, Mary. Meron something kang mapupulot dyan.
How do you develop that courage nga to show up?
Tsaka ano yung pagkakamali na yun na mayroon kang nakuha? Okay yun. That's a good story ah.
Madami. Kapag naging agent owner ka, parang halos lahat ng klase ng pagkakamali sa managing sa isang business may experience mo. Lalo pa at kung wala kang background sa managing people. Ako, I don't have a background kasi in managing people. I was a corporate girl, EA, ganyan. So, I was trained to follow. Pero alam ko sa sarili ko na I want to lead.
Yeah.
Although I don't have the background. So, kaya inaral ko lang siya.
You can only learn nga talaga from the mistakes. Di ba?
Yes.
Pagka nagkaroon ka na.
Go.
Like in my case, when I started managing people, medyo strict. As in, nakikita ko kasi yung dati kong boss ganun so akala ko ganun dapat, di ba? So papansin ko tama nagre-resign ngayon sa akin, parang ganun. When I was younger, like mga 3 years pa lang ako nagma-manage. Pero yun nga, natutunan ko yung leadership, culture building, etc. And all that. From those mistakes, nalaman ko yung tamang approach. And doon ka talaga matututo pag nagkakamali ka. I don't think, di ba, na matututunan mo agad yan ng success agad, one shot, di ba?
Yeah.
Yeah, rather than waiting for something talaga to happen or you're waiting for the right timing, di ba? Instead of that, the quicker you make a decision compared to someone who's waiting, parang hanggang ngayon nagwe-wait pa rin siya, samantalang ikaw, you're already there, you've already made a lot of mistakes, but you're already there. So, yun yung difference. Siguro kaya ako naging confident in doing things, facing my fears, is because alam ko na I should be able to learn from these mistakes.
Right.
And of course, sa panahon naman ngayon, may mga mentors na.
Right.
They also share the same thing. Ano yung mga mistakes na nagawa nila before na pwede mong mapulot. Diba? Na parang hindi mo na pagdaanan yung same mistakes. So for me, kaya siguro ako nahilig din magturo. It's because I made a lot of mistakes before. Sinishare ko na rin yung learnings ko from that. At saka ma-share ko din pala kasi yung anak ko, he is nagsa-soccer siya ngayon. Meron silang competition this coming Saturday and he was
sa outlets.
Sa outlets. He was telling me na, Mommy, I'm scared kasi baka matalo na naman kami. Kasi yung unang competition niya, salang niya, natalo sila. Pero lagi niya sinasabi, Mami, takot akong maglaro sa tournament kasi baka matalo na naman kami. And then I told my son, it's okay. It's okay na matalo kasi that's where you will be better next time.
Correct.
So kaya I was really teaching him na it's okay to face your fears and make mistakes as long as you learn from it. Hindi iba kasi yung mistake na paulit-ulit eh.
Yeah.
'Di ba? Iba na 'yon. So make mistakes and then refine change something out of it para hindi na maulit yung same mistakes na yun.
Pero singit ko lang din na yung skill kasi sa pagmamanage ng tao, ibang level ng ng 10 tao lang versus or 20 people lang versus sa 50 versus sa 100.
Yeah.
Iba-iba yung skill set nun. Hindi yung parang natuto ka mag-manage ng 20, confident ka na kaya mo mag-manage ng 50 ng 100. It's a totally different landscape.
Hirap nga eh.
Yun yung one big lesson for me, no. Kasi
sa akin din. Kasi umabot ako ng so yung una kong business, yun nga, umabot kami doon ng I was managing 10, 11. And then yung next na ginawa ko, naging 88.
88. Dami. Iba talaga. Ibang ibang landscape pagka ganun kadami.
Na nagkasakit ako dun eh. Nung una kong ginawa yung parang physically yung body ko nag-react talaga. Hindi mo pwedeng gawin yung ginagawa mo dun sa dati mong management style. Dun sa ibang
yung mga ganong level ng organization, mas bagay talaga dun yung mga corporate executives eh. Hindi siya pang entrepreneur.
Medyo.
Yun ang masishare ko lang din na based on my experience din. But of course, yung mga basic foundation in managing people, nandun pa din yun sa 100 and 150. Pero iba talaga pag
iba na yun.
And actually, ma-share ko lang din, sorry. Yun yung reason kung bakit umalis na ako dun sa ganong scale ng operation. Because hindi na siya enjoyable for me.
Hindi na siya yung hilig-hilig mo.
Yes, correct. Ganon.
Iba na hindi na hilig.
Kasi may daw yan eh. I think Daniel Priestley in his book Oversubscribed, meron siyang sinasabi na depende on how you want to live your life. Kasi diba, we create our life first and then our business around it. Kapag gusto mo ng lifestyle business based on your kung anong gusto mo usually hindi ka talaga mag-go past 12 or parang yun na yung max. Kasi meron daw meron siyang sinasabing stages eh. Kapag daw yung team mo, nakakausap mo pa, yung lahat ng managers mo, nakakausap mo sa isang, kunyari kumain kayo sa Manam, makakapag-order pa kayo ng isang table na mahaba. Yun, medyo kaya pa daw yun kasi yung cognitive load. Kaya pa daw siyang ma-accommodate natin personal relationships. Ganun. Pero, habang lumalaki, may chasm siyang dinidiscuss na parang may desert na if you're going from 40 to 100, dun daw maraming namamatay na business. Which is medyo totoo to kayo kasi dun talaga parang hirap na yung nag-start mag-breakdown yung communication lines, yung mga ganun. Kaya yun, nothing is wrong if you want to be the next Google or unicorn na Facebook or whatever, pero you have to know na merong ganong jump na kailangan mong tawirin as an entrepreneur to become a corporate parang person na. So curious nga ako kayo yung sinabi niya kanina kasi sabi niya she got frustrated kasi dahil alam niya high performer siya pero when she used to just stay in the sidelines, ayaw niyang gumalaw, fearing rejection, wala namang nangyayari. Pero there was this time that she made a mistake, she actually did something pero something good came out of it. Curious ako dun sa situation na yun eh, like ano yun and how did it paano mo na-realize na parang okay to like gawin ko kaya to more how did it come about for you?
Nung VA ako, na-hire ako to manage other Filipino VAs kasi isa siyang firm and then they wanted to hire someone who has the experience of being a VA. And then so I got hired. And then I was managing 4 or 5 Filipino VAs. And then nagkaroon ng problem na nagmula dun sa isang mga teammates, Filipino VAs. But then I'm the one who got fired. Because accountability ko.
Yeah.
So, and I have, pwede ko namang sabihin na hindi ko naman idea yun eh. Idea naman yun eh, Pero for me, just because I know that I am the manager, I am accountable, hindi question kung sino ang gumawa. Because it happened on your watch, you're accountable. So, ang ending na fire ako from that organization. And then, dun nagmula yung urge ko talaga to pursue my agency.
Ganda, parang ano pala to eh. Comeback of the parang hero journey.
Kaya nung nabuo yung agency, important sa akin talaga yung accountability. It's because I experienced it firsthand. Sobrang sakit sa loob na yung talagang umiiyak ako gabi-gabi. Ilang linggo din akong talagang wala akong ginagawa. As in, na-depress ako kasi nga, alam ko naman sarili ko, hindi ko kasalanan yon, di ba? Pero, I don't know, siguro sobrang din talaga ako sa accountability.
So, yun yung naging core value mo ngayon.
Yes, yun yung naging core value ko. And from that mistake, I'm not sure if it's a mistake or what, pero it's something bad na nangyari sa akin na something good came out of it. So, ayun.
Ganda. Yun na yung nasa start natin ng video.
Pero alam mo kasi kaya sobra akong depressed nun kasi I was earning 6 digits sa position na yun. Factor din kasi yung income na na-generate out of it. So, kaya na-depress talaga ako nung time na yun.
Sino ba naman ang hindi madi-depress doon, di ba? Pero it's really, parang ang galing ng how your mind chose to process it instead of putting yourself as a victim, parang staying in that state. You chose na you were able to turn your adversity into your VA business.
Yeah.
And then a few months after, pumunta dito yung client. Nag-meet kami.
Yung same na client?
Yes. Oo. Kumbaga, hindi kasi ako na yung burn bridges, ganyan. So, siguro, na-realize na rin niya eventually na di ko talaga kasalanan yon. Kumbaga, so, nag-meet din kami after a few months. When he visited the Philippines, he reached out. And then, nag-dinner kami, and then a few talks, ganyan. So, it was a bad experience at that same time. Talagang, naaalala ko pa rin siya. Every time na nahihirapan ako sa ginagawa ko.
Fuel mo.
Yes.
Parang Rise of the Phoenix pala to si Mary. Ito kayo, no? Ang galing. Ito kayo, ako na I was asking her too many questions na. Ikaw muna to kayo para...
Hindi ako, I know you're busy din, medyo ilang minuto na ba tayo ngayon?
Ilan na ba?
So, last question, na-intriga ako dun sa mo was yung personal, mission and vision. And nabanggit mo na yung core value mo, accountability. Pero ano ba yung personal mission and vision mo as, Mary Charlene Perez?
Ako is personal, parang pang Miss Universe pala yung tanong dito. Thank you for that wonderful question. Personal mission and vision ko.
Walang iyakan na. Walang iyakan.
It's parang sa sobrang dami kong ginagawa hindi ko na na-realize. Personal mission vision ko is establish talaga a legacy na something na mapapagpatuloy ng anak ko in the future. And yung community na binibuild ko ngayon, the Alae Freelancers, it's more of giving back to the community. Kasi as an agency owner, I can manage my own company and earn, diba? But establishing a community is really more of the passion and helping people get to where you are right now. So okay. In terms of the personal vision and mission ko talaga, it really boils down to the life that I want for me, my family, and the people around me.
Yun.
So, ayun.
Pang Miss Universe din yung sagot, Ayun. So, maraming salamat. Mary Charlene Perez. Tayo, palakpakan natin.
Thank you.
Sobrang And isa pa pala, meron tayong exciting news kasi ang playground, which is where we are right now, guys. Dito yung setup natin. Papansin nyo, bago, di ba?
Yes.
That's because bago yung buong office namin. Andito tayo sa expansion ng Playground PH. And Tokayo, tell us more about what we are doing here sa bagong setup.
Yes, so we call it the playground next level. So
Wow.
next
Wow.
level.
Next level.
Oo,
Kabilang
so
level.
Talagang next
literally,
level. Kabilang level.
kasi third floor nagkaroon ng second floor literally and figuratively, no. Next level kasi when we first established playground kasi medyo selfish reason dahil kailangan lang namin ng opisina, 'di ba? So I mean for personal use na office. And then eventually, as we go along, nakita namin yung mga pain points din ng mga working professionals, freelancers and whatnot. Of course, aside from space is yung desire nila to learn, kagaya ng pinag-uusapan natin, di ba? Desire nila to learn and grow as a person in their businesses. So that's where the next level playground will come in because we're gonna be offering more consistent workshops,
Yun.
hybrid and in-person, more collaboration with mga freelancing groups, business groups, and at the same time mentoring.
Yun.
Yan. So yun yung natin what we're going to expect sa playground next level.
So, next level na talaga ata to kaya, no?
Yun. So
Yun.
syempre sino pa ba yung mga magiging mentors natin kundi tayo din, 'di ba? So may kanya-kanya tayong expertise. They have the liberty to choose kung sino yung gusto nilang maging mentor depende dun sa requirement nila, 'di ba? So it's very exciting because sabi mo nga we see this also, ang vision natin dito is magkaroon din ng legacy nga to help out yung mga natin. Yun nga yung mga kagaya natin na nag-aspire na mag-grow ng career nila and their businesses, 'di ba? And even the space nga parang all-in-one na nandun na. Tapos we're gonna be introducing mga food.
Yun yung
cafe.
mga
Yan.
gusto natin
Yan din ang hanap ng mga nag-co-working.
Yes,
Parang
so-
nila lalabas.
Oo, diba?
Oo, so meron tayong mga rice bowls, pasta, sandwich, ganun. Yung mga quick grab na food items para kasi iba pupunta pa ng SM para kumain or magpapagrab pa. At least the convenience of having it. And hopefully, who knows, yung next level after the next level would be new branches naman outside
Yan.
Yun.
Batangas. Hopefully, no.
The
Yun.
playground underground.
Underground.
Wala
naman.
ng mga jokes ko dito.
Yun. So, by the way, Mary, if people would like to reach out to your agency or to you, so where would you lead them?
Yeah. So, especially sa mga aspiring freelancers or virtual assistants, you can join our Facebook group, Alae Freelancers. So, yung spelling ng Alae as in Alae, mayroong exclamation point, and then freelancers. So, may specific questions doon. Please answer the membership questions para ma-accept kayo sa group. Kasi we really want to help yung mga interested na mag-freelance or mag-VA.
Yun.
Kaya if you will be answering that, we can help you more. And then for Prima naman, Prima Virtual Assistant, you can go to our website www.primavirtualassistant.com.
Yun.
And also you can add me or follow me sa Facebook.
Ginawa ko na.
Yeah.
Mary Charlene
Kasi
Perez.
I post
Kaka-add
a
ko
lot
pa lang.
din. Ayan.
Yun.
So, we can be friends. Follow me. You can ask me questions anytime. And I'll be more than happy to answer.
Yun.
Yeah.
Ikaw to kayo, wala ka ba ipa-plug?
Actually, for now, me personally, wala akong ipa-plug. May question lang ako na last.
Oh, okay.
Kasi kanina sabi mo, for aspiring freelancers, di ba? Paano yung mga older na freelancers pero yung mga sinasabing expiring freelancers?
Expiring.
Jokes. Okay lang ba yun? Like, wala bang age limit na
Actually,
para maging aspiring or na freelancer?
Nag-start talaga siya na si LA Freelancers na meet up ng mga existing freelancers. However,
mga olds.
marami din nag-express ng interest. Ano ba yung freelancing na yan? Mga ganyan. So, kaya we really also, I gathered a group of expiring freelancers.
Kasama ka ba doon to kayo? Is expiring?
Magjo-join na.
Inspiring tayo. Inspiring.
So, I gathered leaders within LA Freelancers who share the same mission of helping aspiring freelancers. So, welcome yung mga existing freelancers, seasoned freelancers, kasi that's how we can grow the community then. And, yun, maging available talaga yung resources, opportunities, within Batangas din. So,
Parang gusto ko sumali dyan talaga. Pagtingin ko sa group nila, kasali na pala ako to kanya.
Kasali ka
Ayan,
naman.
kasali ka na pala.
Inad na pala ako ni ni Mark dati. So magkikisaw-saw na ako dun sa kina Mary.
Yeah.
Alright, so yun lang. Thank you so much, Mary,
Yes,
for
thank
your
you so
time.
much.
Sobrang
Appreciate it.
Thank you so
sobrang
much.
solid. And tingin mo to kayo, parang magiging mainstay to si Mary dito.
Oo, syempre.
Suki.
Kakaroon tayo ng group of coaches. So, siya definitely. Baka minsan kayo naman dalawang co-host, diba? Or pwede ikaw lang ang host. Minos, kasi open platform to for us, no? For the coaches and the leaders.
Yeah.
Ayun, so, again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Ano na tayo? Nasa ang bilis nga, nag 3,000
3
plus
million?
na tayo.
3 million downloads.
Oo. So,
Lakas.
yun. So, see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.